Here with LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to create a Google Doc. So basically a Google Doc is a form within Google to help you for invoicing and shipping purposes. A lot of you that are in the queue to become a LuLaRoe consultant, or some of you that just started becoming a consultant, still haven't created this Google Doc and don't know exactly how to do it. So hopefully this video will be helpful for you onto creating this Google Doc. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask me. You can email me, LuLaRoeAmandaTomlinson@gmail.com. And make sure you follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/LuLaRoeAmandaTomlinson. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to open up your web browser, whether that is Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Internet Explorer, whatever it may be. I'm using Firefox, so I'm just going to go ahead and open it up on Firefox. You want to go ahead and go into Google. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have a Google account set up. You do that by setting up a Gmail account. Right now I've already logged into my Gmail account. As you can see, LuLaRoeAmandaTomlinson@gmail.com. What you want to do is you want to go and click on this grid over here, and you want to go down to Drive. Drive is where you're going to have your Google Doc saved on. It's going to take a few seconds to load. As soon as it loads, you're going to get this drop-down menu here with My Drive. You want to click on that and click on More. Next, you'll have Google Forms. And this is basically a blank Google form, which you will start creating from scratch from here. Untitled form, you're just going to click on it, and we're going to change the name of that. We're going to go ahead and put the name you want it to show up on the title when people open up your Google Doc. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson. Form description. A lot of people want to give you like a small little description there. I like putting a description below the title, letting people know that the information within this Google Doc is kept confidential, that we do not sell or share their information to anyone else, and it's basically being used for invoicing and shipping purposes only. I don't recommend you putting it here on the form description just because it looks a little odd when you do the when you look at the Google Doc when it's complete. So I just leave that in blank. Next thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and add title and description. You're going to see this little options menu right here. So add title and description. It's the one that looks like two T's. And that is where I'm going to put the that little description telling people that the information is kept confidential. And I'm going to show you why in just a little bit. So untitled title. Let's change this to checkout form. And then for description, I'm just going to go ahead and write something. Let's see, all customer information is kept confidential. And again, you can write whatever you want on here. And you can keep going and just put, we do not in any way sell or share your information with anyone else. I'm not going to go ahead and write all that, but you get the idea. Let's do that there. Then right below it, I want to go ahead and add image. So once I add image, you can go ahead, if you have the artwork for your business card saved, you can use that. If you have like a logo you want to use or any sort of graphic you want to use, you can go ahead and use that. You don't have to add an image. I'm just showing you the way that I did mine. So I'm going to go ahead and drag down just an image. This is not the same one I used, but there's an image. And then you want to go ahead and image title. So the title I used for my image was my my Facebook group, so that everybody that opens up that Google Doc can kind of see the link to the Facebook group on there. So let's do that. LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson all together, and that looks pretty good. So after that, if you hit this plus, that's going to start adding your questions, because we kind of have what your Google form is going to look like on the top header section. So now we're going to start adding questions. These questions are the questions that your customers are going to answer, so that you can invoice them and you can get their items shipped. So let's go ahead and start adding questions. Question number 1, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how I have mine. You can change it however you want. First name. Now, the answers, you have a few choices. Short answer. Short answer gives you like a long sentence, about a sentence and a half. If it's something that people are going to comment a lot, you want to use paragraph. There's also a multiple choice answer, check boxes, a drop down, linear scale, which you can use 1 through whatever number you want to use to, multiple choice grid, date and time. First name, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put short answer. And I'm going to put that, you have the option on all of them to use it as a required field or a non-required field. I'm going to go ahead and use first name as a required field because I really want to know who this person is. Some consultants will put this question as full name, and that would have them basically put in their full name, first and last. I keep it separate, first name and last name, and you will find that very helpful when it comes down to shipping. If you're using Shipping Easy or another platform where the fields have to be separate. So if you keep it separate on the Google Doc and basically transfer that over to a CSV file, it will make your life much easier and you won't have to spend extra time having to split up the name. So I recommend to everybody just keeping it first name and then last name separate. So once I went ahead and put first name and I chose how I want them to answer, I'm going to go ahead and create another question. Last name. And we'll do the same thing. Short answer. I want this to be a required field. Let's go to the next question. Email address. And email address you can use as, sorry, I didn't choose that, as a short answer or paragraph. Let's go ahead and do short answer. Again, I want this as a required field. Anything that will show with an asterisk next to it, it's basically your required fields. Items ordered. Descriptions. And this is where the customer gets to put in like a little description as to what they ordered. They can put in, I ordered a pair of one size leggings with a floral print, so it kind of gives you an idea when you pull that Google Doc. Oh, I know exactly what they got. You want to do this a paragraph because sometimes it could be just one item that they ordered, and sometimes they ordered 10 items and they have a very long description. So I'm not going to make that a required field because some customers do not remember exactly what they chose, and I don't want to put that on them. You should always keep a pen and paper handy when you're doing a live sale and write down what they got, or if you're using numbers, kind of write their name down on the number to help you. But I'm not going to use this as a required field. If you want to use it as a required field, that's fine, but I'm not using that. Shipping or pickup. I do have certain customers that are local to me and they just come and pick up their items. So I give them that option. If shipping or pickup, I want to know who's the one that's picking up their items. And shipping or pickup, I want to use multiple choice. Multiple choice, and option 1 is going to be shipping. And let's add another. If I can get it to work. Add option, there we go. Pickup. So that I'm going to use as a required field because I need to know if I'm shipping this item or I'm picking it up. So it gives them 2 multiple choice options there. The next field is, let's add the question, street address. Street address, and I want to make that a paragraph, a long answer, just in case. Let's keep on going to the next question. City/town, and that can be a short answer. Let's go ahead and put that as a required field as well. State, province, short answer, required field. Again, I'm using these questions because it's what I have in my Google Doc. Feel free to add or take away any questions that you don't think you're going to use. Let's see, zip code or postal code. And we're going to use a short answer on that. That's also going to be a required field. What else can I use? Contact phone number. Contact phone number. We're going to go ahead and use a short answer for that. And I'm not going to make that a required field just because some people do not want to share their phone number, and that's fine. Let's go ahead to the next question. Facebook name. Obviously, a lot of people use their real name as their Facebook name, but some don't. So I go ahead and just add that in there so that there's no confusion, and then I'm like, who is this person? And since this is being done basically, the Google Doc, they use it through Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and let's do, I'm going to keep it as a paragraph answer just in case. A long answer would be fine. I do want to make this a required field. And if it's that they purchased this, basically they got to this Google form through another source that's not Facebook, like Periscope or something, then they can just go ahead and answer none. Or you can put Facebook name / Periscope name. That works too. Next question. Let's see. Are you interested? And this will help you out a lot if you put this in. So, are you interested in hosting a pop-up party to earn free clothing? The customer can answer yes or no. I'm not putting this as a required field, but I am going to put it as a multiple choice, and I'm going to give them the option of yes or no. Let's keep going. Let's add another question. And again, some of these you can leave out. Would you like information on becoming a LuLaRoe fashion consultant? Fashion consultant. Again, if you are a consultant and want to become a sponsor and have people underneath you, you can put this question. We obviously have a lot of girls underneath us, and so we use that question just to, if the customer is interested and wants to know additional information, we reach out to them and provide them with that information. So I'll use again a multiple choice, and this will be a yes. Let's add another, and the option that would be not yet, or add another option, not for me. So I'm not going to make that a required field either. And let's keep going. Item quantity ordered. Now I'm going to use for this one a linear scale. So linear scale gives me the options of 1 through whatever amount I want, up to 10. 10 is the maximum. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 10. Again, I've had customers buy more than 10 items off of me. And if, let's say, they bought 16, 17 items, obviously 10 is the highest they're going to go. And I don't really want to add 2 questions on there saying item ordered and be repetitive so that they can pick 10 on one and 10 on the other. They can pick 10, that's fine. Usually I'll put a comments box and they might tell me ordered more than 10, but 10 was the most on there, so that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and the next question would be additional information and comments. Additional information and comments, and that's going to be optional. And I'll let them know there. And how did I set optional? Let's go back up here. I want to make this a required field. The item quantity ordered, I want to make that a required field. This additional information, I'm going to go ahead and make that a paragraph, just if they want to write whatever. Usually I get a lot of comments and feedback from my customers saying how great we are, how amazing customer service we have. They might say, hey, listen, I have a free item. I'm using some Lula Cash, and sometimes they write quite a bit there, and maybe a short answer might not be the best for that section. So, because that's where they go into very detailed comments. And last but not least, I put my return policy on here. And let's see. So my return policy, and I'm trying to see how I can do this. Return policy, you can go ahead and put in, let's do multiple choice, and I agree. Now, can I add a comment section here? I think I did add a comment section on here. And you can basically put return policy and put in your return policy. Refunds and exchanges for shop credit within, I'm going to put 3 days of receiving item. And then I would put on there, item must be unworn with tags on, and customers responsible for all return shipping charges. Unless, if in the case, and again, I put 3 days, I don't really use 3 days. As long as it's got its tag on, it's been unworn, I'll honor that for again, shop credit. So let's say we're done here, and that's going to be a required field. I want to know that they know my return policy and they agree with it. So once I am done with it, I want to take a look and see what this looks like. So let's hit this little eye right here, which is going to be preview. It's going to take me here. LuLaRoe, Amanda Tomlinson, you're going to have the little red required. Checkout form, all customer information is kept confidential, and you can keep going and put a little bit more information on there. You're going to have your Facebook group if you want to put that there, the link, and then first name, last name, email, and then you're going to have all your questions there. This is basically what it's going to look like. And again, you know what I'm just noticing? That there's an other here, and I don't want that. So see, that's a good thing about checking out the preview, because now you can close this out, go back to this, and you can remove any of the answers. So I don't want that other. So all you have to do is just basically go ahead and click on the question and exit out of the other one, and it'll just knock it off out of there. Other. Simple as that. So If you see that it looks good now, go ahead and hit preview again, and just keep going back and forth. Play with it until you have it just like you like it. See, that looks pretty good right now. So I'm happy with that. Um, let's go ahead and, oh, one more thing before I get out of here. So when we first started, I called this LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson, and I told you, check out the form description. I didn't want to put checkout form, and all customer information is kept confidential, simply for the fact that, and I will show you right now, it's going to look like this. I'm going to hit preview just so you guys can see it. It's going to be tiny right underneath your name. It's not going to look right. I'd rather have that title bold here and then have all that little information right underneath it. To me, it looks a little bit more professional. So that's the reason why I told you not to put any description there, because once you hit preview, it's just going to be blanked out. And it's going to have that required field right in between it, and it just looks nicer, in my opinion. So once you have it the way you like it, you're going to go ahead and hit this little settings wheel and save it. But before you save, real quick, you can change the name. As soon as you click here, it'll change it. I already have a Google Doc under LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson, so I'm going to change it to test. Just so I know that's the one I need to go ahead and delete. Save. And that's going to basically save all your changes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close out of this Google Doc, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going to happen now. You already have this Google Doc set up, so okay, perfect. We go into Google. How do I use a Google Doc, you may ask? Hit the grid, go to Drive, and you're going to have your Google Docs right on there. So I'll show you exactly how to use them. So LuLaRoe Test is the one we used. If you did a couple and you don't like how it turned out, you can always highlight it, right click on it, remove, and it's gone. Right click, remove, and it's gone. This is the one we created, LuLaRoe Test. Once you open it, you're going to see you have questions, which is basically the Google Doc you created. And you have responses. Responses is when people go ahead and answer your Google Doc. They fill out your Google Doc. If you hit these three little dots, you can go ahead and download into a CSV file, which works great if you have Excel. Or you can see the responses, and then it'll give you two options here, summary or individual. Obviously, it's not giving me that option because I have no responses at this time. Another thing which I forgot to show you is, and you can always go back and change things. If you want to change it, all you have to do is click on it, and automatically it'll take you to it and change it because you're logged in as yourself. So, if you hit this color palette here, it changes your background. So, see how we have it purple? We can change it to that hot pink color. We can change it to like a teal color. Or you can customize and add images. If you have, like, let's say, artwork from your business card, you can use that. Depending on the scaling and the sizing, it might work, it might not. The way that I have it is I clicked other, and you can choose one of these. This is the one I have on my Google Doc, just because it has the LuLaRoe colors. There's a couple there that have the LuLaRoe colors, more or less. And I'm going to go ahead and preview just so you can see what this looks like. And, I mean, it blends in very nice. I'm going to show you now this is the one we created. I'm going to show you my Google Doc just so you can see what it looks like. And this is basically what my customers see when they fill out my Google Doc. Now, as you can see, my Facebook group here is basically broken apart. That's just how I'm viewing it. When my customers view it, this is what they see. Again, you can go ahead and use my Google Doc, and if you want to copy everything the same, by all means, go ahead and use it. But this is basically what is used for customers to fill out and help you out for invoicing and shipping purposes. Now, next step is you want to give your customers the link to your Google Doc to fill out. So, and I have one response. So I have the option of seeing that in a summary or individually. And I'm not going to scroll down because I don't want to put that customer's information all out there. But as you can see, that's what it'll look like. As soon as you'll get an email notification. If you have a link to your phone, you'll get an email notification right away on your phone saying, hey, there was a Google Doc filled out. Now, let's see. You want to go ahead and you want to give your Google Doc link to your customers. And you will probably want to put your link on Facebook. So I'm going to use a test one. Let's use a test one real quick. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Now I want to log out of my Gmail just because since it still sees that I'm logged in, it's not going to work correctly. It's going to be like if I'm still wanting to edit it. So I'm logged out completely. I'm going to go ahead and put in that Google Doc. And this is basically what they're going to see. Now, as you can see on this upper right-hand corner, it says Request Edit Access. You want to get rid of that. You don't want to give any customer the opportunity to have to request access to edit your form. They don't need to do that. So you want to go ahead and highlight your link. And you want to go towards the end of your link. Now, go all the way to the end, and you want to delete everything all the way till View Form. You want to keep View Form on there. Anything after View Form, delete. And let's copy that whole link now. So let's do this again. So you're going to go ahead and keep View Form, and anything after that, delete, and that automatically takes off that box right here. So that's exactly how you create a Google Doc. Now, next step, and I know there's a lot of steps, but once it's done, it's done. This is a very long link. So having to put this link on Facebook or provide it to somebody, you know, it's pretty long. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into bitlink.com, is it? I think it's bitlink.com. Or is it bit.ly.com? Maybe it's bit.ly.com. I don't use it much, so. Okay, bit.ly.com. So I'm already logged in to bit.ly.com. But once you basically create a login, you log in, and as soon as you're in, you want to go ahead and create a bit link. BitLink, what it's going to do is going to shorten down that link that you have. So, create BitLink, and it's going to tell you right here, paste long URL. I'm going to go ahead and paste that huge link. I'm going to title it whatever I want. So, I'm going to go ahead and put test. And that's the new link. Excuse me, that's a new link that you're going to have. So that huge link just turned into this. But I want to change it even more. You have to carry the bit.ly / on there. It's mandatory. But you can change this to say LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson. And save it. That's going to be your bit link. I'm not going to save it just because I already have one. So this is basically what I give my customers. bit.ly / LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson. When they click on that, that basically takes them to my Google Doc. And it shortens out the link. It's very easy to remember. So if somebody asks you, where's your Google Doc? I can't seem to find your Google Doc. How do I fill out a Google Doc? Just tell them, go to your web browser and put bit.ly / LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson, or it's fairly easy for you to text it to them or message it to them. So with that said, that's basically everything you need to know on how to create a Google Doc and shorten down your link. I hope this video was very helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and email me at LuLaRoe@gmail.com, and please follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson, or just go onto Facebook and search LuLaRoe Amanda Tomlinson, all one word, and I will be happy to help you out. If you guys need a particular training, go ahead and just reach out to me, and I can create a video and help you out on how to do so. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and see